Hey, Chef Andre here. Today we're gonna make some sweet potato barbecue potato chips. Now, after doing the paleo diet, one thing that I really missed was just a nice big bag of barbecue chips. Well, these are great, crispy, they're also low carb and healthy chips. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'm gonna show you all the tricks today, so make sure you stay to the end. So we're gonna start off with a nice white sweet potato, and make sure it's washed and scrubbed really well. We're going to slice it down the middle again, and then once more lengthwise. This is going to give us a nice flat surface to slice these chips on, so it's not rolling around our cutting board. Now make sure you use the knife is going to be used back and forth in a nice motion. Let the knife do the work. You don't want to push too hard down, because the potato will split and crack as you push down on it, and you'll get uneven chips. If you like thin, crispy chips, make it thinner. If you like it real crunchy, go a little bit thicker. The thinness will affect the cooking times, and you'll just kind of have to watch them. Spread it evenly. Make sure you're not overlapping the chips. One potato is going to give you about 3 cookie sheets, baking sheets worth. Make sure you have some nice parchment paper down there, or else they're going to stick to that pan. I prefer to use a slicer. Really make short work of this, and I do it about number 3, and make sure you don't cut your finger off when you're using it. Be real nice and safe. Then after you lay them out on your baking sheets, drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil, sprinkle some sea salt on them. Now after that, we're going to distribute that olive oil that we drizzled on there. You want a good amount of olive oil on there. Don't be too skinny with it. So after we've sprinkled them on there, we're going to take the different slices of potato and rub them against each other, top and bottom, and this will make sure that the coloring is real even, the roasting is even. As you can see, if there's a big drip of olive oil on there, it's not going to cook the same as the ones that don't have it on there. And then after we've got them all spread out evenly, we're going to put them in the oven at 250 degrees for about 45 minutes. Now while they're in there, we're going to make that barbecue rub. Now this stuff is great. I like to use it on chicken or pork. You don't want to use it for a high temperature though, because it does have that sugar in it, and it will burn in the oven. So it's going to have 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of celery salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now that onion powder really gives it that distinct barbecue chip flavor. We're also going to have a half a teaspoon of granulated garlic, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. You can go more than that if you like it smokier. And I do about a half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper in here. I'm going to put it all in the spice grinder. Sometimes I do put some black pepper in there too. And after you put it in that spice grinder, we're going to pulsate it until it's nice and fluffy looking. It will discolor a little bit in there, but after you put it on the chips and it absorbs with some of that oil and moisture in there, that color will come right back. So don't worry about that. You can put it in an old spice jar that you've washed out, or I buy these blanks from Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. After about 45 minutes at 250 degrees, we're going to flip them. Just kind of inspect them, look for soft or wet spots of those chips. Make sure you're flipping them over. Not too hot, so you can just use your fingers, but again, be careful. Use gloves if you're not used to it, or you can use tongs. It takes a little bit longer, but you're not going to burn your fingers. And we're going to season it with a little bit more salt and pepper. Keep them real nice and flavorful. And then we're going to put them back in the oven at 250 degrees for about 35 minutes. Again, if you sliced them real thin, you might want to pull them out a little bit sooner. So with about 10 minutes left, we're going to sprinkle some of the barbecue seasoning on them. While they're still a little wet, it's going to help that seasoning stick to them. It also helps distribute the flavor throughout them. So we're gonna put them in there for about 10 more minutes, and then we're gonna pull them out again. Check the doneness of them. You're gonna see a nice golden brown on these. And so 90 minutes at 250 degrees. It's all done. Those are some nice chips. They're gonna be real crunchy. Let them cool down all the way. And then I like to sprinkle a little bit more of that finishing seasoning. If you have any chips that aren't quite done all the way, like you sliced them too thick, put them back on a separate pan and cook them a little bit more. I like to put them in a nice Ziploc bag. They keep for about 2 or 3 days. They're real crunchy, real crispy, and these are great for entertaining. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and let's make skinny tasty.